guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Talking Parra podcast. You will hear from tonight. We have Matty Tate from Tate Sports Cards. We've got Hayden from the Entertain House. You have myself, Troy, from the Parra Cave podcast. And we have our illustrious host, Adam Martin. Tonight we're going to talk about that game against the Rabbitohs, unfortunately. Hopefully not much, but we're also going to preview the game against the Tigers at Leichhardt Oval. Some would call it the eighth wonder of the world. I can't see that. But anyway, over to you, our illustrious host, Adam.
Yeah, thanks, Troy. And just like to point out, tonight's episode is sponsored by Peter Alexander. I'm wearing my Peter Alexander pajamas. If you go into any of your local Peter Alexander stores and mention the Talking Parra podcast, you'll receive a 0% discount. So help us out there, guys, and try and get us a bit of sponsorship from somewhere. Probably aiming a bit too big there, but look, let's start off. And I'm just going to come out and say it because I'm going to go on a rant. It's rant time, boys. You ready for the rant?
Oh, I'm next.
I'm next.
Okay, here we go.
That's all
Here
right.
we go. We're ready for rant.
All
I'm
right.
just going to say it now.
You're the host, so you start off.
It's not good enough. It's as simple as that. Saturday night wasn't good enough. I saw it coming all week. We spoke about it on the podcast. We all tip Parramatta because we're diehards. No one can question our loyalty as fans. We all go to most games. And I knew Latrell would carve us up. A bit of motivation for them. Look, wet weather conditions, we can say we didn't play our best because of that reason. There was a couple of dodgy calls as well. But I think as fans, we're all getting sick of the shit. The shit of constantly looking like we're going to be a top 4 team. We're going to be a premiership threat. Well, we've knocked off Melbourne and Penrith this year. And we've dropped games to, how many teams below us now. So you can blame individual performances if you want to. I don't think anyone really stood up. I still think our forwards had a bit of a crack in those conditions, which is always hard. But, look, I'm going to target them all straight away. I'm just going to go straight in. I'm not showing any mercy tonight. But what I saw of the game is you got Dylan Brown, who, look, he's probably been the second best 5'8" in the game this year, behind Cameron Munster, who has been in some unbelievable form. Consistently, he keeps putting probably two or three back-to-back matches, and then all of a sudden has this game where he looks like he's not interested again. I know it's not a good game for Moses' style game, but he was missing as well. And to me, Reid Mahoney showed 550,000 reasons why we didn't sign him next year. So it might sound harsh, and we know the media like to bag us as well, so we probably don't need to when we start to suffer, but I'm really starting to feel there is some bigger issues there than players because we spoke about BA a couple of weeks ago. He's got to start to learn how to get the teams up for these games. I don't know if we need to see a psychiatrist, if we don't need a hypnotist or something and say, look, you're playing Penrith every week. Go out there and play Penrith every week. Because that's why I'm starting to question. I know we've been questioning it for a while, but I've always been a BA supporter. I'm starting to question if he is the man to do the job for Parramatta to get us the premiership because you have to be good enough to get these players up. We know we've got some players there who can be space cadets. Once again, I'm not gonna mention their names, but there's players who like to go missing and just not get involved. But it comes down to individuals' performances and team performances against the same team. And every single time we played South Sydney for the last 4 years, they've exposed their edges. You've got to find out a way to counteract that. It's pretty simple football. If your up and slide isn't working against that team, just go back to basic one-on-one marking up. If your players haven't got the ability to one-on-one mark up, well, they're not first-grade footballers because everyone should be able to make a one-on-one tackle. All right, I'm done. I'm not talking anything else about the game besides the fact that I'll go referee. The referee, can he cop it as well? The referee can cop it. I think when Gutho put that grubber through, I know it was 18-6, we weren't playing our best football, but we didn't deserve to win the game, but that's 10 in the bin every week. If it's not a penalty try, it's 10 in the bin. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking there. Like, I don't know if they wanted South Sydney to win because Latrell's back and they can promote how good he's been and all this kind of shit, but it was pretty disgraceful. And the other one was the Isaiah Papali'i push after the kick. I've taken harder hits in OzTag and, not got anything. So if we're going to start calling that shit, I've seen Mitchell Moses get taken out about 5 times a game worse than that. So, all right, Troy, got anything positive?
Cody Walker done it in the first half against me.
Cody Walker did it the tackle after, the kick after.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we'll go, Troy. Come, give me some positivity.
I think Matty wanted to go second, so Matty.
No.
I want to go positive before negative. We got anything
positive before negative. Well, look, it was absolutely real disappointing performance, wasn't it? you thought that Latrell was going to be back. As you said, South were going to be up for it. Latrell was going to be up for it. South are a bogey side for Parramatta, obviously. I think the last 4 or 5 games, the average score has been over 30 points against us. So there's obviously something wrong with that defence, as you said, Alex Johnston's side especially. I thought when we got to 12-6, we were still in the game. And then that crazy Mitch tap on that led to Johnston's second try right before half time, which got it to 18-6, was a real turning point of the game. I think it really deflated the guys. And that close to half time, I don't know whether they knew it was that close to half time or not, but you don't do that sort of stuff. And in wet weather conditions as well. Look, if it came off, everyone would have thought he was a genius. And it has come off in the past, but probably not on that night. Going in 12-6 would have been a good thing. As you said, that Clint Gutherson penalty against it, not blown, 100 times guaranteed during the week. It's a penalty. Or I don't think it would have been.
It's a professional foul.
Yeah, 100%. And it should have been 10 minutes in the sin bin. Absolutely. I don't know if it would have been a penalty try because he may have got there first. You don't know, but definitely a penalty and 10 minutes in the sin bin. And then Isaiah Papali'i push will. I mean, what are we playing? Soccer or something? I don't know. But there's nothing in the rules that can't say you can't push. I mean, you see it all the time in the corners when the attacking team's going in for a try. How many pushes do you see then of players trying to push them into touch?
Kalen Ponga using his shoulder and getting those shoulder charges in corners. You see everything.
Yeah, so look, I really don't know what's going on at the moment, whether the harmony in the team's not the best at the moment or what. I don't know whether they're waiting for September. I don't know whether they're just playing football to get into those finals and then wait for September, which is probably not the way to do it. You want to be peaking at the end of July, definitely August, going into September, but you want to win those games against those lesser teams that are below you. So don't know what's going on at the moment. His bench selection with Tom Opacek, I don't know. I said during the week that potentially maybe one of the outside backs is carrying an injury that we don't know about, and maybe he's there in case that happens, but I don't think you can carry him on the bench just for that reason. And, it's come out today that Bryce Cartwright, Matty's favourite player, is out for a couple of weeks now, so that's why he wasn't named as well. So
he got injured while cutting up the oranges, Bryce Cartwright. He's cutting up the oranges on the
there's a lot of work to be done.
Reserve grade actually won. Reserve grade won in the last minute.
Yeah, and I think if Brad Arthur and Nathan Brown have got a beef with each other, I think they just need to sort it out. It's come out in the media that the Brownie can already look for another club. Look, just get over that and put Brownie in the team to win football games.
But see, it's not the first time he's done that, and that's what he's obviously got a problem with players at the back end of their career. And we also see sometimes struggles to give younger players. It happened with Tim Mena. Yeah. And they were both showing game. I think they were both showing ultimate disrespect, to be honest. And
the other point is as well, like, he hasn't made any changes to this week's team from last week. So, again, it goes back to whether he's letting them to try and redeem themselves because of that performance against South, like he did against when we lost to the Bulldogs. He named the same team again. Or whether there isn't anybody to pick, I don't know. But I can tell you, I would think that if we lost against the Tigers, then there'd have to be changes made to that side. Talking to Joey Grimer on the podcast, he used to work with Ricky Stewart, and he said he knows and still knows how to get his players up and ready on game days. I don't know how Brad does it, it's going to be a big test on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll go to you quickly, mate. I just want to touch on one thing you said there, Troy. 18-6 mentally, he said that obviously a bit of a downer for him conceding that try in half time, but that's where a bit of mental toughness and a bit of coaching comes in because we scored 5 tries in 25 minutes, 30 minutes of football the week before. So 12 points is nothing. I know it was wet conditions different, but it was against a team in a similar position on the ladder. And like I said, there's got to be an attitude or a mental problem, really. Something's just not right there. But we'll get into more because I've got
look at Magic Round. Magic Round, we came back in the second half and led for a bit.
Yeah.
Like they can do it.
I've got some more theories there. We'll go to you, Matt.
All right. So the most positive play of that whole game that I witnessed was Dylan Brown going down the short side and kicking the ball into touch. Like, I don't know how many times I've said it. This whole bomb and hope shit we got coming out of our own half, and especially when we let them run back 20 meters every time they catch a bomb. Like, just kick it out. Get our full line set up. Like, they let every set of 6 they had, I think they made 70 meters on us. Stivo's still not 100%. I'm 100% on that. Like, I think they just rushed him back. How many meters did he like? To me, I would have kept Fergo for those runs out of the back end, off kicks. It's just, I'm sick of repeating it. Just BA needs to have some harsh conversations with some of those boys. And if they're not going to be there next year, I know they've made this pact, that thing, just start. If you're not going to aim up this year, just start looking at next year and bringing some young kids in, like Hands and all them, because you look at that reserve grade team, what they dug themselves out of on the weekend. I know it's only reserve grade, but they were down and scored 2 tries in the last 5 minutes or something to win the game. So if we've got players doing that in reserve grade, why aren't they getting a crack in first grade? And we keep picking the same people. And this week they'll redeem themselves. We'll come out, we'll beat Tigers, have the same conversation. And then Warriors or Brisbane, whoever we played a week after, beat us. And then then we won't change. And then we'll pick the same team, let them redeem themselves. Like, I'm still angry at the game. Like, but the most positive sign I saw was we actually made more meters by doing not the one out shit and running down that short side and Dylan kicking it out. That was our best set of 6 and our best ending to a set of 6 in a long time. So, yeah, That's my little rant.
Hayden?
Yeah, overall, I think I know the scoreline doesn't reflect it, but I think I can take out quite a few positives, even potentially more positives than negatives. The first one, and I'd like to see a similar game plan going in this week. Early on, I thought Regan Campbell-Gillard had lots of early ball, and I think towards the end of the first half, he was starting to make some errors, but some good runs, some offloads about him. Loved the aggression about him rather than being on the bench. He was great starting. The other positive, I thought Bailey Simonson early on, he was getting his tackles done. South was struggling to score points for the first couple minutes of the game. I actually think a positive for this game is that we weren't down by more at halftime. I can't remember if Souths kind of scored and were denied in those moments, but I know the 18-6 or the 12-6 would have been a great scoreline going into halftime, but I honestly think the Rabbitohs could have scored around 22 to 26 points the way they were playing against us. So it kind of shows that mentality that we can hang in there defensively, which I thought we did early on. But as the second half went on and as the game went on, it just really slipped away with us. But I do think there were some positives there from the start. And I thought Regan Campbell-Gillard, even though didn't really do much in the second half, was probably the best deal on the field, in my opinion.
Cool. All right. So no one else got anything else to say about the game? Moving on from this week and just, like BA pretending it didn't happen, or?
Yeah, well, we could have went, almost top 4, and then
that's
had
what I was going to make.
That 6-point gap between us and South. But yet again, we let it slip, and
that's exactly every time we get a chance to go top 4 against a bottom opposition or an opposition below us.
It's like they want to finish in that spot.
South last year were the runners up. They've been average. They've been inconsistent, much like us. But obviously, there's a massive difference. They're missing Reynolds this year as well. But I don't know. I didn't think South would make the 8, to be honest. And I'd declare us getting beat pretty much by a bottom 8 team. So,
well, the other thing too is starting this week is going to be consistent week to week football as well. So the game against the Bulldogs, we had their 5 days off, and then before last week's game, it was rep round as well. So not all the players played as well. So there was a little bit of time off. They were still training, obviously, but there was still, time off, not game time happening in those couple of 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So hopefully now that they're going to start playing week to week football, we can start to see some consistency.
Just to throw it out there, last year we finished in the bottom 8 and had probably the best semis we've had ever than we have when we finished in the top 4. So
you mean the bottom 4 of the top 8, not the bottom 8? Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom. Yeah. You know what I mean. The bottom 4 of the top 8, and we had our better series.
You could have said we finished 6. It would have been easier.
Yeah, and it's like, is that playing on their mind? Are they trying to just keep that spot because they know they can have that better run into the
difference
semis?
was last year we faded away at the wrong part of the season, which is actually at the right time of the season, which is probably about now. But in saying that, we were consistent before that period. Then we had that rough patch where we took a couple of touch-ups. Those touch-ups were against top team, not bottom team. And then, I know we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, and there's one thing my brother also say as well, that we peaked at the right time, and that's obviously the best final series we've had, even though we went out in the similar circumstances. We were screwed against Penrith, we know that. And, we look solid. But to be able to do it again shows your hand as well, and it takes a lot of not only mental toughness, but confidence in your team to go on a run like that and, back yourself to be able to win 4 games to win a comp. I think you're stupid if you don't go top 4. If we finish 4th, we play Penrith week 1 at Penrith. If we're the only team to beat Penrith at Penrith this year, the pressure's on them. The pressure's never on us. We saw that when we went down to Melbourne in 2017 and we got screwed down there, funny enough. So there's a bit of consistency here. That was a screwing anyway, don't get me started. But there was no pressure on us to win that game at all. We gave it our all. We couldn't back up the week after against a Cowboys team where the pressure was on us. But we go to Penrith, it's on them, and we can win that game. We get a week off. We come back to, Combank Stadium against someone else for a game in the semi-final. So you've got to aim for top 4. The top 4 possibility is still there, but we've got to start being consistent. And that's what I'm going to touch on now is our run now. If we're fair dinkum, if we are a premiership threat and we are going to be a top 4 team, I'll say it simply now. At Leichhardt on Saturday night, we'll have one player missing in Junior Paulo, obviously, with Murad stepping in the front row. We should be beating this team by 30. We should be able to back up the week after a home game against the Warriors. You'd think once again Junior Paulo isn't there. Hopefully we get through with no injuries this week. That's a game we should be able to put 50 points on. The Warriors obviously have had that huge moment of getting to go home for the first time. They've had a week off. They're going to be back home for that week off. They're going to be catching up with family and stuff. They're going to be doing things they haven't been able to do in New Zealand for a while. Then they're going to fly across to Parramatta when they're not going to want to be back in Australia, except for half of them that don't want to be in New Zealand, apparently, e.g. Reece Walsh. And then, it really is a game against the bottom opposition where we need to stamp our authority and go, let's win this game by 40 or 50, because then we go into that run where we play, we've got 3 home games. We've got Brisbane at home on the Thursday after, 6-day turnaround. Then we get an 8-day turnaround for Penrith, who are going to be coming after us. There's no doubt about that. But 3 home games, if you've got to aim to win all 3 of those home games, because the week after is one we probably will lose against Manly at Manly on the Friday night. I've marked that down as a game. I think you said the same thing too, haven't you, Hayden?
I think I've got 3 or 4 losses, and then I think I've got about 4 or 5 wins. We'll see, but I think that Manly game's a very, very dangerous game.
It's a hard game to go to, especially after 3 home games as well. Anyway, let's you don't want to give any player of the matches out. They've all no daily points this week for anyone in Parramatta. No,
I think Wonga Blake did all right too. I mean,
he needs to go back on the wing.
No, he doesn't.
He could have let Jackson Paulo score in the corner, but he tried to get him out, which he did. So
I think. Actually, I just want to touch on that. That was something you just reminded me mentioning his friggin' name. How come we were always kicking to Alex Johnston? We were always kicking to Alex Johnston's wing and never trying to expose that other wing. We've seen with the Roosters where teams try and kick it to Suwali, and for example, he's good under pressure, but you're going to kick it to him instead of kicking it to Tupou. We were going for that easy option. Alex Johnson, in my opinion, for that game was probably actually player of the match. But yeah, I thought the kicking game from our boys, our halves towards Alex Johnston was a bit too much. So hopefully,
because that's the only way Mitch knows how to kick down that side.
yeah. Who's on the wing this week? You've got David Nofaluma on that right-hand wing. Who's on the left?
That's his kicking side. That's how he kicks every week. Same straight down the throat. It didn't go to.
We've seen that it does work, but we have seen that it doesn't work.
But he hasn't. He didn't put up. He didn't even put up one of the spirals. He put up one towards the end, like we saw against Penrith. Round that one he put up, and they didn't even go for it, and it bounced, and Dylan scored to pretty much seal the game. He's got probably, if not same as Burton. When he gets those bombs, he can do just as good as Burton does them. But he just does the end over end down the field kick for some reason.
Because I think they're a low percentage play, Torpedoes, in my opinion. Like, I know the Bulldogs go for them quite a lot, but in today's game, especially game when you're on the back foot and they're making more meters than you, the Torpedoes, if they let them bounce, 7 out of 10 times, if you're spiraling towards a fullback, they're going to go out for a 7-tackle set. And that's why a lot of clubs do keep away from the Bulldogs. Look, they haven't got a structure, to be honest. So they're not making the meters. They put those bombs up. He puts those bombs up from the 50-meter line. If he's kicking them dead from there, he's doing a fantastic job. So that's why he does it. But there also, I think there's too much pressure on Mitch with the kicking as well. And we keep saying Dylan needs to step up there, and he doesn't. So, but just touching on before we go into this week's game, we've got 9 games remaining, and 6 of them are at home. If you look at the games at home, we've got Melbourne second. We've got a away game against Brisbane. We've got the Bulldogs, who still might be trying to make a run. I'm working in reverse order, by the way, here.
The Melbourne game is very hard.
I'm just trying to touch on our finish more than anything, because we've got to finish strong to go in the final. We've got South Sydney at home again at CommBank. We've got Manly at Manly, as we touched on. Those other games we said, Penrith, Brisbane, the Warriors. So most of them are against top opposition, which most teams would turn around and go, oh, that's great. I mean, that's terrible. You don't want to play the top teams. But for us, who seems to struggle to get up against the bottom teams, it's probably not a bad thing we finish with that run. So,
well, you said 9 games to go. I think we should aim to win all 9.
100%.
That should be the goal. I know they go into every game wanting to win the game. No player goes into a game to lose it, but those 9 games we should win all 9.
And that's the thing. And your 2 toughest games there. I know this seems weird when we're playing Penrith and Melbourne again, but your 2 toughest games there are Manly at Manly and Brisbane in Brisbane. We've been there, Troy. Brisbane at Brisbane can almost be a Parramatta home game anyway. We've got a pretty, we can usually turn up at Suncorp Stadium, funny enough.
But this year's different, though. The Broncos are going a lot better than previous years as well. So.
They were. I look back to 2017, and we played them that twice in that 4 or 5 weeks, or whatever it is. And I went up there. We beat them 4 or 5 weeks earlier. I went up there that game thinking it was a game I was nervous about. I thought we were going to get smashed, actually. They were in good form, and I think we were about 5th, and they were about they're level on points to us, I think. They were both really close, and we obviously demolished them. So, we can take that mentality up there, but we should be definitely aiming to win every home game. And if we drop one game along the run, we're going to drop one game. But like I said, it's kind of now or never, isn't it? The inconsistency's got to stop.
Yeah.
And the shit performances of not turning up have got to stop. And we've got an awesome opportunity against the Tigers team coming, third last, second last, and the Warriors team down there at the bottom as well. So 2 games in a row, we should put big scores on, fix our for and against, and then look to back it up against stronger opposition to home games. So
I think those Broncos games could be vital for us to finish above them in the top 4.
Correct. We've got to beat them and finish above them.
We've got to beat both of them.
Opportunities to get above them. All right, let's touch on this week's game.
Just quickly, I've been trying to say the whole time, boys. Just going into that final game.
Let's touch on this week's game. Just
going into that final game against the Storm, I just want to ask you, boys, how different do you think it will be to last year? Obviously, last year we kind of rested players going into the final series, and we had this kind of B-grade Parramatta side going up against a big opponent in the Panthers. Do you think that we'll be doing that against the Storm if we secure a top 4 spot? We're obviously going to get a spot in the 8. That's a given. Do you think we're going to be playing full strength?
Yeah.
Right.
You go in all guns blazing last week before the finals.
Especially against Melbourne,
and you need that confidence to go into it.
100%. Well, let's be honest. Penrith are going to have first spot wrapped up by then. I haven't really looked at Melbourne's run home, but if we are to win 8 of 8 games, there could be a possibility that Melbourne do drop 2 games. They've, they're not going to lose this week. I'm having a quick flick. They play South Sydney, who I think probably could go on a bit of run at the moment. On the 23rd of July away.
They play the Panthers at Penrith. That's a very tough game.
There you go. They play Penrith at Penrith. They play Warriors at Mount Smart. They're going to win that. They play the Titans at Amy Park. Penrith at Penrith, as you said. Brisbane up at Suncorp.
Oh, they've got the Roosters. I think that's at the SC. No,
it's at Amy Park. There's potentially, look, as we've seen, any bottom team can turn up, but there's 3 big games there against Brisbane at Brisbane, Penrith at Penrith, and South Sydney at a call. We could be playing Melbourne if we are to go on a run and win 8 of our games. We could be playing Melbourne for second spot then, especially if we knock off Brisbane twice. 3rd spot, North Queensland. Obviously, we'd have to look at their run as well. They're level with Melbourne, but you just never know.
North Queensland's got probably the easiest run out of everybody.
That's ridiculous how easy the Cowboys run is, isn't it?
But in saying that, it's because they're a bottom team last year. They get the easier run. In saying that, we could be playing Melbourne that week to guarantee ourselves 4th spot to play Penrith at Penrith or go to North Queensland. I know where I want to go. I want to go to Penrith at Penrith, not North Queensland.
It's closer.
It's closer, and we psychologically, as we touch on, we got the thanks, Troy. I'm glad that Penrith's closer than Townsville. I didn't know that.
But you're closer to Townsville, Matty, and I'm closer to Penrith.
I'm not that far away. I'm closer to you.
Geography school, but Adam wasn't.
Hey?
I said Troy was listening to geography at school, but it sounds like Adam wasn't.
Oh, I know it's closer. I'm not that dumb. Just didn't think it had to be stated. But we touched on last year as well, and I think last year we deliberately didn't play because we knew we'd beat Newcastle week 1. Newcastle didn't even deserve to be in the finals, to be honest.
It kind of reminded me of the game against, when was it? When St. George touched us up.
Oh, that was 2009. Yeah.
And then the week after, we beat them in the final.
We beat them. Yeah.
We didn't want to do any trick shots.
They showed us all their trick shots, and we knew we were going to guarantee to play them no matter what. So that was great. That was a bit of Daniel Anderson, master coach then. So, all right, let's go. Are we ready to move on this week's game?
Absolutely.
All right, this week's game, Leichhardt Oval, Saturday night. Obviously, Origin affected only 4 games this week, but a bit of trivia. Anyone know the last time we played at Leichhardt Oval?
2013.
Nailed it. I actually didn't realise it was 2013 until about 5-6 months. Whenever the Penrith game was.
Was that the one where Benji took the quick tap and we all had our backs turned and he went straight through the middle? Was that it?
No idea. I thought that
Before that, it would have been 2004, I think, wouldn't it?
I thought it was 2000. I looked up. I thought it was actually 2002 before that. So.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I thought there was one the year before they got the grand final win. But
I
know we haven't won there since 2001. Is that correct?
You're telling the story.
Well, you seem like you've looked up the facts.
No, I've got no idea. I haven't looked it up at all. I was actually asking a genuine question. Yeah. I knew it was 2013.
There you go, listeners and watchers. We actually just wing some of this.
Yeah, we just wing most of it. We pretend we know what we're talking about. But I actually thought it was 20 years. I've been going, we haven't played there for 20 years. I didn't realise 2013 definitely was a year to forget. So we can be.
Well, I do remember playing there in 1998 with Big Took scoring a try underneath the post. It was a rainy, wet, cold night. Was that
your 40th birthday?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was a big night. Coldest I've ever been.
What jersey number was Tukes wearing?
I think it's 10, I think.
Oh, I think that's a bit of an omen that Murata Niokore on a cold, rainy night at Leichhardt's going to bag a try, mate, under the post.
I hope it's not cold and rainy. I know it's going to be cold, but I hope the rain's cleared up because that hill that I'm on with 10 drunk blokes I'm coming down from Newcastle with on a bus is going to be very slippery, slidey if it's bloody.
Are we all heading down there?
I'm there.
No, I'm not.
I'm there.
You're not?
Are you coming down?
No.
Nah, I don't think so, mate.
Oh, Troy, mate. A bit
I'm
disappointed
disappointed.
in you.
I'm not angry, just disappointed.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, my
Okay, Dad.
mate is a Tigers supporter, heading down with him. It's vlog number 149, and then next week, Origin 150, the vlog. So, yeah.
Wow,
All right, so we're going to talk about the game now, or are we going to just,
Yeah,
All right. So this week's game, as we said, Leichhardt Oval. Parramatta short price favourites for the game here. Tigers obviously knocked us off earlier, so I think it'll be after a bit of revenge. I'm expecting a Mitch Moses masterclass. We know how much he likes to turn on against the Tigers, but interesting fact, it'll obviously be the first time that Mitchell Moses has played at Leichhardt Oval, not for the Tigers. There you go. I'm pulling facts. Who says we don't wing it? I'm just winging the absolute crap out of that because we haven't played there since 2013. So, good guess.
He
Anyway,
played there in juniors for Parramatta.
that doesn't count. No one cares
It's
about
not-
juniors.
It's not the Tigers.
No, I played there in juniors. It doesn't count. All right. Let's get on with it. This week's team, obviously, Junior Paul are unavailable due to rep duties. Murata starts. Everything else is pretty much the same, isn't it? Tom Opacek on the bench.
Matto's back.
Matto's back. I'm going off what was named last week, all right? We've done this last week as well. I'm going off what was named on Tuesday. And he was named. All right. And then obviously the bench of Makatoa, Opacek, Kafusi, Rodwell. Now, we talked about before, Troy, you said Opacek there. Maybe a back depth go. I'm just going to throw it out there. It's a stupid choice. A bloke leaving our club. You already know he's leaving. I've called for it before. Hayes Perham should be our 14. He can cover anywhere in the back line if he needs to, or we can shuffle players around to cover him in the back line. Opacek, centre wing, that's great. He can cover that. He can cover fullback. Perham can probably cover 5'8", or Gus can go to 5'8" if he needs to. I don't know. It's just an odd choice for me for a bloke that last week we were actually talking about if he was even with the club anymore. So
What
that's
other clubs have a back on their bench?
I know. Does it show we've got no one else? Is it starting to question our depth? Because who else would you have there?
Well, isn't it
on the bench?
Yeah. Or isn't it past when is it? When
I
we
thought
can
Mitch-
play
I
our
thought Mitch
development
Rain.
players?
I thought it's June 30, isn't it? Is it June? I'm pretty sure it's June 30. I thought Mitch Rain was
past
pretty
June
ordinary in all his
30.
performances at Parramatta. So that's obviously why he hasn't been included. But, who's our number 18 this week, guys? Anyone want to tell me? It's missing again.
Is it Nathan Brown?
It is Nathan Brown. So maybe they'll have a coffee. They'll have a little kiss. Brownie and BA, they'll be friends again. Brownie will say sorry. Brad, I love you, Brad. I love you, Brownie. And maybe we'll see Brownie come in because it's just an odd choice having Opacek there. And it is a slap in the face to Brown, to be honest, especially against one of his former teams. So, look.
Might be one of his new teams.
He could go back. He could go there. Once again, looking at their team, I know Hastings taught us a bit of a lesson, but I think we've got them covered positionally in all positions. If you look at individual matchups there, their biggest name's probably Tamia, as if we were going to look at rep duties and stuff like that. And he hasn't really been playing that great of football. He's probably going to freaking kill us now. Dane Laurie's obviously exciting. Nufaluma, probably the one player who
it's probably Adam Dewey over Penasini, the tricky one. Adam Dewey moves into the centres, but overall,
no, I don't agree because I think Penasini is so much younger and has so much more potential. I think if Dewey's at 5'8", potentially, yes, or at fullback even. But look, the only player I'd have on their team that's starting for them this weekend in our team over one of our players is probably Nufaluma. I think we'd all have him. We probably should have had him, to be honest. But I know, Matt. I know. I don't have to say it. I know you're thinking it. Could have had him a couple of times. All right, who wants to go first? I'll get your thoughts on the game, Troy.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a tough game. I just checked the weather forecast. It's going to be sunny, so might not be cold, windy, and raining. But look, the Tigers are in disarray at the moment, aren't they? So, they've got an interim coach, Brett Kamuli. They've got, Adam Dewey coming out today saying, I want to play 5'8". I'll play centre this week, but next week I want to play 5'8". Luke Brooks is sick of the club leaks to the media about that. So, look, they're in disarray. Could it be smoke and mirrors? Who knows? But as you said before, this is a game we need to win and win good. We need to get that for and against up. They got us by 1 point last time. Jackson Hastings field goal. And, at home, so we need to rule their jungle. So at Leichhardt. So yeah, no, look, it's going to be tough. It's a prime time game, so the only game on Saturday. So there'll be a lot of eyes on Parramatta and see how they perform from last week.
We absolutely love it.
I'm glad it's a prime time game with the only game on, Troy. Thank you.
Well, they could have had it on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, couldn't they?
Troy, has it been raining this week?
Yeah, it has.
Sorry, you just stating all the fun facts and obvious facts tonight. All right. I want to say one thing I forgot to say is you touched on it there, jungle. I'm just glad the Tigers finally realised that Bank West isn't their jungle and they've moved this game to Leichhardt, because they've done this based on the fact that every time they've had a home game at Bank West, Combank, Parramatta Stadium, whatever you want to call it, Western Sydney Stadium, every time they've had a home game there, more Parramatta fans have turned up and we've absolutely flattened them, except this year when they obviously moved the game here and they beat us there for the first time. But I'm just glad they've realised that Combank Stadium is not their jungle and they've gone back to Leichhardt. All right,
Well,
who's
I think
next?
they've got to have a certain number of games at Leichhardt, and I can't remember.
I personally think it was deliberate to get away from Combank. They could have played anyone they wanted there.
Well, look at Panthers. They're building on the Paceway now, so they don't have to leave Bluebet and come.
Smart choice though, because that stadium will stand there now until, and that Paceways wanted to move from there for years. They want to go to Penrith CBD.
What about the bloody greyhounds and the horses? Where are they going to go?
Just put it behind Panthers.
What's the Paceways? So the Greyhounds have got their own track anyway. So there's enough Greyhound tracks in Sydney, that's for sure. I'd like to do a Greyhound crawl one day. All right, Hayden, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I was going to say we love to play. I'm trying to think of the word because I don't want to be too disrespectful, but the teams lower than us back into form. I was going to say the shit teams, but Tigers fans.
You said it now.
There you go. I've said it. I won't take it back. But
shout out to our Tigers listeners.
There you go. There's Troy. Love it. The Tigers. You mentioned the Luke Brooks situation going on. Really funny one there. So there's a few things going on at their club in the background. Recently lost their coach and Brett Kamali taking over as the interim coach. So a few changes there. They get James Tarmow back, their big man, which makes it a battle for us. But Reid and Campbell-Gillard should have him covered. Pretty good bench for the most part. I liked the bigger minutes that Clive Rodwell was playing for our club last week. I think he's a really solid player coming off the bench for his sixth debut now. We all make that joke every week. So
I think it was his third game actually. But
third debut.
Just on Kai, could we have had him?
Before you go, can I say this is Clive Rodwell's first game at Leichhardt Oval? All right.
Oh.
Fun fact, that one. But I was just going to say, could we have had Kai start the game instead of Murata and have Murata on the bench as an impact?
No.
Why?
If you were to start forwards. If you were to start Kai, as good as he's been playing, you'd have to put Sean Lane on the bench, in my opinion, and put Kai on that left edge with Dylan Brown. And I think we're going to see that later in the year. I do. I think that's something we're going to see where he's going to play.
Cool.
Continue, Hayden.
David Nofaluma, you mentioned it, the danger man. David Nofaluma was seen constantly tries off kicks to wingers all season. Parramatta's been conceding him. So watch out for David Nofaluma. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I haven't been to Leichhardt since 2019 for Paul Gallen's field goal. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool. Matt?
Good stuff, Matty.
All right, so I'm looking forward to the battle between Guffo and Dane Laurie. Seems like something always happens with those two.
Yes.
As you said, Norfoluma should have been wearing the blue and gold this year, but we won't touch on that. Nice trolling by a few of the Parra boys there with the missing link comments. For those that don't know, the boys were out for lunch with Norfoluma one time and actually put the Eels missing link or something in the comments and blew up the internet. But shout out to Luke Brooks, trialing for that Eels number 9 jersey next year. Just saying after Mitch's comments on the Heine and Fletch. But yeah, so it's going to be one, I'm going to say it. I reckon the matchup of the game will be Sean Lane versus Luke Gardner. I reckon they're pretty much the same player at the moment. So
Average.
Average, yeah, but
Inconsistent.
Luke Gardner runs the length of the field like he's a winger. But Lane's little flick
God.
passes, hopefully.
God, I hope
come
Sean
off.
doesn't listen to this podcast. I have a cheap shot aim every week.
I
and
know.
He did a good offload last week. They scored.
He actually hasn't
Last
played too
week.
bad the last 2 games. He
I
does this, though.
I think
But the thing is, the
Regan,
thing with Sean is, we could have a blinder. We could win a game by 50, and he could be the shittest player on the field.
be gassed. His fitness has gone to another level all of a sudden in a couple of weeks.
Shout
yeah,
out
he-
to Sean.
He must be
Shout out.
going. He must be going to airlocker like me, and he's getting sick.
Yeah.
of
I want
fits.
to see Sean Lane. Why did I say Lace? Sean Lane race Woodamoo Greg. They both get very gassed late. in the game, so-
I want to be a 40-meter race.
Yeah. So, yeah, James Tarmow has come out saying he's interested in staying in the club. He's not going to retire, so I think he's looking for a contract. So he'll be up for a big one. Regan Campbell-Gillard, we all saw his Origin comments. Apparently, we own Penrith, so yeah, he's got to back up those comments the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I think Matto's up for a big game. Having the week off, I feel like he took it personally because he was off. And if you saw his interview during the week, he goes, "Oh, yeah, when I played against the Roosters, we played all right. But then I had last week off, we lost. So I'm back this week. So let's hope Matto hasn't jinxed us there."
But once
yeah.
again, Madison, right? Another bloke returning. I don't know if he could have because he played for the Roosters, but I don't know if he's ever played for. I'll tell you this much: he hasn't played for Parramatta against the Tigers at Leichhardt. All right,
I don't think any of them have.
But that's the point.
Yeah,
that's the joke, Matt. But they
yeah, I
hate
know,
him.
but I'm just trying to
They
think
hate him.
who we had.
They hate him more than Moses. Tigers fans hate him more than Moses. Yeah. And
they hate him. They hate him more than Luke Brooks at the moment. I'm sorry, Tigers fans. We know what you're thinking. But yeah,
shout out.
It's okay, no Tigers fans listen to this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Luke Brooks, though. He probably does listen.
Shout out to you, Dylan from Everything West Tigers. I know he's a regular listener of our podcast.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. So yeah, I think it's pretty evenly matched, but I feel like Will. Who's on Dewey's side? Will. Yeah. Dewey won't be able to tackle him. He'll palm him off every time, I reckon. So,
is that your bold prediction? Will Penasini to palm off Adam Dewey on every tackle?
Ooh, is that to lead into the first try, Matty? Or?
Oh, here we go. No, he'll flick pass it to Wonga, or Bailey. Bailey, yeah. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think it's up for Parra. I think we put on. Hopefully, we do both halves and not like we did against the Roosters, where we just score all our points in the first half. Yeah.
Cool. You done?
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, let's get bold. I'm going to go first.
All right. Here we go.
Right. I am going to go with Parramatta 40-8.
Ooh.
I'm going a big bounce back, and I think we need it, but I do think it will happen.
Hang on, let me get a pen that works.
Mate, you've had 43 minutes of this podcast, and you get to your big moment where you write stuff down.
We should take that last week's bold.
I used all the ink in the last one. Yeah.
We should check up on those, I think, Adam.
You want to do last week's here?
I think we should touch up on it. Yeah, I think we should.
Only because you got closest.
All right, whatever. I won the week before.
I'm getting a point for Clint.
I'm still ahead, but
wait, calm down. We're going to get there. Just relax, Hayden. All right. Score predictions.
It's very loose tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah, mate. It was loose last week. It's been looser this week. Score predictions. When our team plays shit, we get a bit sidetracked. Score predictions. I went 32-22. Look, what did we score? 12. I was only 20 off, and I was only 8 off them. Troy went 20-18. Hayden 26-18. Matt 28-20. Technically, I get the point for 22. South Sydney. Oh, we're going deficit, aren't we? It's deficit. So what was I off? I was 8 off, and I was 28 off. Troy was 26 off. 26 off. Hayden was
14.
12. Hayden was also 26 off. And Matt was 10.
40.
Matt was also 26 off. So look, he's all get point.
We all get a point.
3 of a point. No, you get 0.333 of a point. All right, the boys' first try scorers. I went Bailey Simonson. No. Troy went Will Penasini. Matt went Ryan Madison, and Hayden didn't enter a try. So Hayden went Clint Gutherson, who scored both our tries. Congratulations, Hayden. It was a first try scorer, though, not a first Parra try scorer, but you get half a point. So that puts you on 0.8333 of a point. And the boys' bowl prediction. Let's just start with Troy's. Troy, Latrell Mitchell will not play the full 80 minutes. Even when they were ahead by 24, they still kept him on.
I was looking at that. I'm looking at the clock going, take him off.
I'm going to give you credit, though. You said that he won't play Origin. He's not playing Origin.
Well, there you go. Half a point.
He himself out. Unfortunately, that wasn't written down. Adam was Bailey Simonson intercept. No. And Hayden, it was first try scorer to run more metres than Latrell, and second half 40-20.
Can I just mention the 40-20 go away? But the Gutherson and Latrell, I was watching those stats all game.
And Latrell
I think no. Us, Matt was watching it with me. Gutherson was ahead of him a lot, then tied with him. It was only the final run from Latrell Mitchell where he ended up getting 29 metres additional over Gutherson. But Gutherson had him covered all game. We were watching it like hawks.
That's a shame, but you don't get anything for that. And Junior Ply to get a one-on-one strip, Matt.
Yeah. I thought maybe he'd just back up from Origin. He hadn't. Anyway.
We thought wrong. All right, back to this week. I'm going 40-8. Mitchell Moses, first try scorer. And Mitchell Moses to score a double.
More points than the Tigers.
You've beat me. I've already said it. He scored a double. That's literally what I was saying. Mitchell Moses to score a double and outscore the Tigers, which is easy at 40-8. I actually going to say Mitchell Moses 13+ points, which is pretty easy. But yeah, that's mine. All right, who wants to go? Hayden.
All right, I'll go with a scoreline of 30 points to 14. So Parramatta to win the game by 16. I think the Tigers, after not scoring a try last week, they'll be a bit aggressive. Look, I'm going to give you 2 try scorers from the Tigers, and then I'm going to give you my bold prediction. First try scorer first for Parramatta. I'm pretty confident. I'm going to go Bailey Simonson. I reckon Bailey at $10.50 is a great price this week. Yes. I mentioned it earlier that we love to concede tries off the wing. So, look, I'm going to go with David Nofaluma. And I reckon our old boy, Stefano Utuikamanu, coming off the bench, is going to get one against us. But
is he going to play on the wing?
Huh? No, not on the wing. No, both wingers aren't going to score this game, guys. But
no, Stefano's going to score for the wing. Not for kick.
The wing. He's going to run out the wing as a coward.
I'm going to take my bold prediction this week to Sean Lane. And I reckon Sean Lane, after running, I think he ran about 90 metres last week.
Wait, how many bold predictions am I writing down right now?
Yeah. No, just my one. Just
the Parramatta ones.
2 try scorers. Okay. So first try scorer, Bailey Simonson. And I'm going to go with Sean Lane to run 130+ metres this weekend at Leichhardt Oval.
Can we get a pace that he's going to run them? Is it going to be medium pace, right arm over the wicket, or...
they're going to have him on the clock at about 26.5 Ks on the Fox League tracker. He's going to be on that VB hard-earned index with a final score of 118.
Oh, Fletch will get excited about that.
Oh, fuck me. All right. Go, Troy. We know Matt's going last. He's prepared all week.
No, I haven't written down anything.
If you had the Tigers scoring 12...
You want to go, Matty?
No, you go. I haven't.
I haven't really thought about this, so this is just winging it, to be honest. So, look, I'll go Parramatta to win. Obviously, I'm going to go 36-0. I think the Tigers won't score a try at Leichhardt. They didn't score a try last week. They won't score a try this week. First try scorer, I'm going to go Reid Marnie, first try scorer this week. I'm mixing it up. Actually heard him on the radio today. He's got a pretty good try scoring record against the Tigers. I'm going to go for him for the first try scorer. Little dart over from dummy half, I reckon. And bold prediction. Luke Brooks to get hooked before half time.
Oh,
Hang on.
Yeah,
You
I
guys-
just think the pressure is on him. And
hang on.
pressure is
Do they have a centre on the bench?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work out. Who have they got on the bench?
Who do they have
No.
on the bench? I don't know, but
Gardner,
look, I think
Gardner will go to centre if he gets hooked, in my opinion, because we've seen Gardner play some centre, and then you probably put Justin Mamata maybe on the back row.
yeah. Look, I just think he is under enormous pressure, and with Parramatta coming back this week to hopefully smash the Tigers, I think
Because it's our week. It's our on week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a bit of a Lachlan Ilias sort of situation where he might get hooked because we're going to score points really fast as well.
I'll tell you this much now. An interim coach is not going to hook a player on $800,000 a season, or the board will quickly get rid of him.
Mate, if it's 36-0 at half time, anything can happen.
So, you're going 36-0 at halftime and 36-0 at
I'm saying if
Parramatta not to score in the second half.
It's
We've done it a few times.
If that's going to happen, if it's 36-0 at halftime, Troy, I'm walking out knowing it's going to be 36-0 at full time. I can be halfway home. All right, you done?
Yeah, done.
All right, Matt, come on.
All
finish
right, here we go.
Tigers to score 12.
Nah.
No?
I'm going to go 52-2.
When are they taking the penalty goal? Are they going to
and then the Tigers won't be able to win the comp.
Literally, they're going to get a penalty first set of 6 and take the penalty goal.
First set of 6.
Yeah. I'm telling you now.
What does that say about us? That says our discipline's horrible. Not theirs.
No, but the first.
Are we knocking the ball? Sorry, are we knocking the ball off the kickoff, or are we letting them get in a good ball?
A few 6 agains.
They'll get a few 6 agains. They'll get some stupid friggin' penalty that will march them downfield, and then they'll get a flop or something and take the 2 because. Anyway,
will Sean Lang be involved by any chance?
And then the Tigers may be able to win the comp because they've had 50 points scored against them.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking positive, guys. I said it was going to be a close one last week, and we got pumped. I'm going to go Wanga, first try scorer. And now my bold prediction.
You've already been pretty bold. They're going to take the 2 the first set.
Yeah. No, I'm going to call it now. I'm going to say Wanga Blake to get a hat trick.
Oh, okay. I had a feeling he was going to go a hat trick there.
Nice.
Yeah. Wanga to get a hat trick because.
So Sivo could have probably had a hat trick as well, as what you're saying, if he passed the
ball. Yeah. I feel
52 points, he still could.
He's still good. But then Moses has got to score a double, so.
I feel like Wanga's going to do. They're going to, I don't know, set up the old play where the old Michael Jennings inside ball back on the angle a couple times and get him.
Yeah.
Back Troy's tip there of any time try scorer Reed Marnie. He does have a great record. But gamble responsibly.
And shout out to Gutho as well, playing his 150th Eagles game.
Yeah, also a shout out to Kai Rodwell playing his 3rd debut game for Parramatta this week as well. Let's look at this. Let's look at this here. If we can go to score a double, Mitchell Moses into Wonga to score a hat trick. All right.
And anytime Marnie.
Hang on. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Now, I'm guessing we're already at 2,500.
We've already reached into.
Can we get a gambling sponsor?
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're listening, Sportsbet,
we can bet with charity.
We need some sponsors.
No,
I
can't combine Reed Mahoney into it. It won't let me. I've already reached the maximum. So it
won't even let you build.
The total points, right? Alternative total match points of over 50.5. It's an $1,800 multi, ladies and gentlemen. All right. for $1. If we power play that for $18.50, thanks to our kind folks,
25 cents each. Well done.
Two power plays available, and we put $5 on that, which we are.
You won't be eating noodles this week.
Yeah.
You won't be singing for your supper.
We got that.
That'll be a return, ladies and gentlemen, of $9,250, which we'll donate. How much are we donating? What are we donating? What charity are we going to this week, Matt?
Let's just go Ronald McDonald House.
Right, $1,250.
Do you want to go Mark Hughes Foundation, Troy?
Yeah,
Mark Hughes Foundation, $6,000.
They did get $4 million last week.
Yeah,
we'll go then. $1,250 going them if we can get that $9,250 multi, and then $1,000 each for the other boys and $5,000 for Adam. Like, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we do it. It's not going to happen.
Sounds good.
But you must be in attendance to claim your money, unfortunately. So Hayden, looks like you're laughing. All right, that'll wrap us up for this week. Very much looking forward to it. As I said, first trip to Leichhardt Oval because Parramatta haven't played there since 2013, as we've established. And 2013 was a rubbish year and I wasn't going. Getting down there to watch the game on a bus from Newcastle with 11 drunk blokes. I'll be the soberest bloke there. It's going to be a friggin' long trip home, no matter whether we win, lose or draw. So good luck to Adam and can't wait to see you there. At least Hayden and Troy, I'll convince you before the weekend.
No worries. Might see you there. Who knows? Go the Eels.
Go the Eels. Have a great one, guys. Thanks for jumping on.